Let me switch up the game. I drink that cognac. Step back cause I might put it on ya. I go deep.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry we watched the episode.
It's okay. I'm not. If we hadn't, we wouldn't have seen. You need to see it to believe. Viserion may be gone, but we will watch the finale together and do it together.
Thank you,
Tommy.
Don't call me Tommy.
Okay.
Not Tommy. How about my queen?
Oh, sorry.
My bad.
Hello. Hey, Tom's Tubers.
Howdy.
Welcome to another episode of Tomatoes Tube. We're doing the finale of Game of Thrones Season 7.
Season 7. Episode 7.
Episode 7. The finale, which is known as, what is it?
The Dragon and the Wolf. Usually we would do our little talk as part of our reaction video. Today, because it's such a long episode, we wanted to keep that video a little bit shorter. So this is our discussion, and then next is going to be the reaction video. So make sure you look in the link below and watch our reaction video after you watch this. Watch this one first, though.
So I wanted to start off really with just mentioning a few things that have happened throughout the season, and mostly last episode as well, which was the big one, Beyond the Wall, with Viserion's death. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. There were a few points of contention that came up that fans were kind of like, this doesn't really make sense.
Some of them were so stupid. Like, come on, Game of Thrones fans, get your shit together.
Alright, seriously, you guys just have to learn to sit back and enjoy and not read into things too much, alright? Arya. Clearly Arya is acting a little bit stranger than we've seen her act, especially after just being reunited with Sansa. This has got to be a ploy. Now, look, I don't know this for sure. This is mostly predictions as well of what's going to happen in the finale episode. But to me, this is all a ploy. I feel like she has had so much training with the Faceless Men. She's also been told that she's a good actress by the woman she was told to kill, last season in Bravos. I feel like she knows that Littlefinger is a bit of a creep that has his little birds and little fingers everywhere and knows what's going on. So I feel like she's playing into it in order to kind of get him on side so that they can get to the point where they can really catch him out and go, nah, you're no good, off with his head.
Look, it's clear we've seen a different Arya almost from the point she left Bravo. So when you've got her meeting Hot Pie at his little Hot Pie establishment, she's enacting herself a little bit like the Hound in like they're not saying thank you, just taking things off the table, just munging down into it. I'm solidly on par with thinking that she's not meaning everything she's saying. She might be trying to get a rise out of Sansa to see what happens there, but she's playing Littlefinger's game. I think the next one I want to bring up is Jon Snow's sword. When he fell into the ice and he comes up and his sword's already waiting for him, or he brings up the sword and all the rest of it, and fans went ballistic. Y'all are idiots. Jon Snow does not have a magical fucking sword. First of all,
Longclaw's eyes did not open.
Longclaw, like the direwolf on Longclaw, is only maximum a couple of years old. Like, Jorah's dad, what was his... Mr. Mormont.
Mr. Mormont.
Mr. Mormont. He said when he was giving it to Jon Snow that he's changed the figureheads from a bear to a direwolf to represent Jon Snow. So, at what point in like the last 3 years did his sword magically get imbued with this when we've seen nothing like it? We've seen magic, we've seen dragons, we've seen people walking through fire and not getting burnt. At no point has there been anything even remotely close to the reference of a magical sword. Y'all are idiots, it was a drop of water.
And the director did come along and say he had no idea what anyone's talking about as far as he's concerned, trick of the light.
I happened to hit that right point and just drip past it and everyone's like, holy shit, it was alive! Jesus Christ. Christ, people, get your shit together.
I know people like Matt, especially in the last video, were complaining, where did the Whites get those big-ass chains to bring Viserion out of the frozen lake? My theory is that maybe they went back to Hardhome, or they already had some provisions from Hardhome, which is a wildlings port, like fishing port kind of area, and a lot of Stannis' fleet that Jon bought during the Hardhome episode, where they were attacked by the Whites, were actually abandoned. So there would have been large ships with big anchor chains and things like that. Just a little theory that maybe that's where they got some of that from, so they're not just carrying around magic chains out of their arm.
We need these 60-ton chains. Let's use half of our army to drag them up.
Maybe they went back though, because Hardhome is not too far.
Are you
from
kidding?
where they
These
were.
guys move at a glacial pace. How long ago? How many episodes ago was Hardhome?
Only 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons. Jesus Christ! Seriously, like, okay. We're reaching the point in Game of Thrones where the first season, it took them like a full season to travel from Winterfell to King's Landing.
Or at least it was implied a 3-month period.
Yeah, it was a long ass time. Now we're seeing people move, like we saw Jorah get from Old Town to Dragonstone in what, an episode?
Yeah.
Maybe 2?
Yeah.
Like, okay, obviously they're realizing they need to speed things up a little bit, so that's what they're doing. But poetic license, you got to give the fans a little bit of something.
Clearly, along with the big battles and the finale of the story coming up, they need to spend the money on the CGI, spend the money on, the big battles and things like that. And that may mean that there's less money for longer episodes or more story arc to, explain all those things. I'm okay with it personally. The teleportation of everyone leaving.
There's a waypoint.
Yeah. I'm okay with it because it's not really causing any issues with the storyline or the characterization. It's just speeding things up. We understand from the first, 2 or 3 seasons that how long it takes to get to these places. We don't need to keep being reminded of how long it takes to get to these places. Let's just get there now. We're just going to have to get used to the way that this is how things are now. In order to get the full storyline out, people are going to be teleporting all over Westeros like there's no tomorrow. So
it's magic.
Get angry at it. Let's let it go and let's move on with that.
Let it go. Let it
Let
go.
go. Can't hold it. I have one last thing.
Okay.
My last thing is a little bit of my theory, and I'm sure other fans have thought of it as well. I'm sure I'm not the only one to think of it. But Game of Thrones has always played into the magic of only death pays for life. Think of the death of Mirri Mazda, the healing witch. Drogo and Daenerys' unborn child was implied that their deaths together was why she was able to hatch the dragon eggs. No, well, she's basically been told by Mirri Mazda that who killed Drogon by giving him bad healing and all that, that this is her life now. That if she wanted Drogo to be alive, she would not be able to have children anymore. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
They also explain that in terms of when Lady, Sansa's direwolf, was killed by Ned in the 2nd episode of the 1st season. The moment that Our Lady was killed, Bran woke up from his coma after being pushed off the building.
See, and I personally, when we had a discussion about this privately, poked like at least 20 holes in that theory, but I can see something in it. So.
It's not been something that they have constantly pushed in our face, but it's been something that has been a theme that continues throughout a lot of the series. And not every death has paid for a new life.
And not every life needed to be
exactly. So sometimes there have just been deaths for the sake of being deaths and stuff like that. But I do think that maybe, especially when it comes to Daenerys, and she's been saying a lot, and we've been reminded a lot this season, that she can't have any other children, that she can't leave an heir to the throne she's trying to capture. What if Viserion's death, one of her magical children, her magical dragon, will pay for the chance for her to have one last opportunity of providing life again? Hopefully. But at the same time, Jon and Daenerys getting together is going to cause some issues once they find out Jon's legacy.
I wonder how they're going to find that out and who's going to tell them.
Well, this episode is called The Dragon and the Wolf. That's it, really.
That's it. Alright, cool.
All right.
So, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us some love, comment, let us know what you think. Tell us we're wrong, praise us for being right.
All those things.
All those
Everything is
things,
said.
you know, just
Alright.
just give us some love.
So, thanks for watching our pre-game talk video. Now we're going to head straight into the reaction video. So have a look at the next video posted. It'll just be our reactions. And enjoy, and then we'll cry together for the finale. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again soon. Ada folks.
Toodaloo.
Let me switch up the game. I drink that